Hi there. Welcome to the next episode on how to hard fork Bitcoin Core. If you ever sort of design your own Bitcoin version with some modifications, here we go through the journey of how to do this step by step with milestones. And today we're going to talk about the roadmap for our educational network called Bitcoin Next Generation. All the work so far has been just mainly focused on making sure that our new network, our fork network, has its own identity, like we change network ports, magic bytes, address space structure, and prefixes. And that's, of course, resulted in breaking a lot of tests down the road. And now all the tests are greenish, about like 154 of them. And another activity that was taking place is to prevent replay attacks by adding a Zcash fork ID, meaning that if you create a transaction on a new fork network, but you use old address, we want to make sure that a malicious agent is not capable of replaying that transaction in any form on the main network and vice versa. Now, with these two changes, been actually a lot of work done. Also, the code base is a very modern code base, version 30 of Bitcoin Core. We're now prepared to make a release. I'm going to do it today, release version 0.1. And it's going to be like really a vanilla code base of Bitcoin Core with very, very little changes to the original consensus, to just a network identity has been changed. And there's going to be a new node for that educational network example. Now, next on our roadmap is something interesting. Like, as you notice, I have here a bunch of GIP. GIP is a proposal, stands for Generation Improvement Proposal, just like Bitcoin Improvement Proposals, the so-called like BIP documents. And the motivation for this, because I'm doing AI assistant development, like I'm doing something that's called tech or technical specification driven development. The work is or a change is first planned, detailed described in forms of README files and a bunch of additional documentation, and only then it's executed on like each change is implemented per branch with work trees and all of that. And this all interesting difficulties, we will dive into them in next streaming sessions. There will be upcoming two more videos in discussing detailed, very interesting form of work, which is actually GIPO03 and GPO04, regarding to where we would start to do modification to actual mining. We don't want to modify too much, but only a little bit. Generally, the Bitcoin core consensus should be remained untouched, and changes are like very, very justified and very, very limited. Dual mining in particular is something where we want to extend the difficulty update mechanism, where we on different weeks, odd versus even, on each particular week, we update only one kind of difficulty, but the difficulty itself is two-dimensional. It's like this, we have like uh, energy difficulty, which is the usual classical Bitcoin core difficulty, and it remains as it is. And then there is a second dimension, which would automatically allow network to self-regulate. And here we allow prioritization for mining nodes that have better infrastructure in terms of like having more memory. So what we're introducing as such is a memory hard mining algorithm. It's not completely novel idea, but the way how it is done, the algorithm itself, is rather novel. There would be a dedicated video to discuss this. So basically on those weeks there would be that the difficulty update that determines how much memory each node requires to do successful mining. Yeah, and we're still running a modification of SH256. And in GIPO04, that mining or the hashing algorithm runs on a separate server, like for simplicity, like a REST server. In GIP04, we're going to discuss actual REST interface or REST calls to that server and the implementation of the algorithm itself, how this is done. And in future, it could be shared memory or like some faster way to communicate. But for now, for very initial stages of the project, REST is completely fine for enterprise communication. Right. So these are two pieces of work on the roadmap, and we are still going to once this is done, do some additional more changes. Up to be discussed some preparations like pre-genesis checks. A lot of changes have been done so far, mainly around chain params, CVP, and there is some basically housekeeping in terms of like where we have all the integrational tests in place, and where we want to move to actual version 02, where we're going to bootstrap network. So we are like literally that far in our roadmap where we can actually do some fancy stuff in terms of operations. We're going to have our own network, and that's going to be very exciting. So thanks for tuning in. It was a short update on the Bitcoin Next Generation project, and I hope I see you soon with more stuff. Thank you.